Hi there, welcome to the first episode today of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is quite an outrageous story about potentially 700 NHS nurses not being properly qualified. Now, right off the bat, I'll tell you, this is quite an old story. It came out about 5-6 months ago, and I never seen it. And if I've not seen it, hence the reason I'm making the video, I think it's fair to suggest I'm not the only person in the United Kingdom that isn't aware of this situation. Now, I heard someone talking about it the other day there, and I thought, that doesn't sound right. And it turns out it is. And the story is about nurses who come from other countries and they have to do an online test before they can be given work as a nurse in the NHS. And I've not been doing them. And I've tried to find out where this story is up to date, because it appears that there was, or still is, some investigations ongoing about this issue. So the story was covered by the Daily Mail, and let me just get the date, in February. And their headline, more than 700 Nigerian nurses under investigation for taking part in an industrial scale qualifications fraud could be working for the NHS. Now, that's a big claim. And the reality, it may be true, but it's based on one factual piece of evidence that there were a number of nurses who hadn't qualified, or hadn't had the right qualifications. So the story goes, more than 700 frontline NHS workers from Nigeria could be treating patients despite being under investigation for industrial scale qualifications fraud. It was revealed today. Regulators revealed in September that 48 nurses and midwives from the African nation were being investigated for paying someone to sit a computer-based exam which checks medical knowledge and is needed to work in the United Kingdom. The Nursing and Midwifery Council, the NMC, has now been warned that a further 669 individuals were assessed at the test centre have applied to join its register. So what they're saying is, there's 48 that they know about, but there was another 669 who also done tests at the same centre. So they may or may not have had the same person sit the computer test exam for them. Over 80 of the applications it is so far checked, the vast majority have been rejected. However, these individuals who are qualified nurses and midwives in their home country and reportedly still working in NHS or care homes as healthcare assistants, which can involve performing health checks, taking blood samples and sterilising equipment. Nurses and midwives hoping to work in Britain must complete assessments. These include a computer-based multiple choice test that checks their clinical and numeracy skills, which is usually completed in their home country and covers topics like drug dosage calculations, followed by a practical test that is taken in the UK. Pearson VUE, the company that runs the computer element for the NMC, issued an alert in May about anomalous data coming from the Unique Technologies Test Centre in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria. A subsequent NMC investigation uncovered widespread fraud at this test centre based on assessment completion times being statistically significantly quicker compared to other centres in Nigeria and globally. As of September, 515 professionals on the NMC register took their computer assessments at this centre, representing around 5% of those from Nigeria. The regulator believes that 48 of these people likely paid a proxy tester to take the test in their behalf, and as a result, deemed all results from the Unix site as invalid. Mail Online revealed dozens of these nurses were still working in the NHS. These nurses were already working in the NHS when the scandal came to light, and the NMC doesn't have the power to suspend them. However, it has told them to retake the test to prove that they are competent. You'd kind of like to think that was done quite quickly. Experts have warned that these workers are a risk to patients' health and that the situation highlights the dangers of UK's over-reliance on overseas nurses to fill staffing gaps. Hearings expected to start next month will result in a final decision to determine whether they should be removed from the register. I can't find any notification about these results online. The NMC has now revealed it has received 669 applications from nurses and midwives tested in the Unit Centre and is reviewing each application carefully. It means that more than 700 nurses are potentially caught up in the scandal. The second batch of 669 staff, most of whom have already come to the UK, are largely nurses, while fewer than 5 are midwives. However, as the NMC has not yet approved their applications, they are mainly working at healthcare assistants in NHS and in care homes, according to the newspaper. The NMC said internationally educated nurses or midwives take these unregulated roles, which it has no power over, and as an interim step while in the process of applying to its register. Around 80 nurses from this group have retaken their computer test and applied to join the NMC to start work as nurses or midwives, but the regulator said it has serious concerns about their honesty and trustworthiness. Andrea Sutcliffe, the NMC's chief executive and registrar, told The Guardian, "We've refused entry to the register for the vast majority of the 80 applicants we've considered so far, and those individuals can appeal." She said internationally educated nurses and midwives make an important contribution to our health and social care system. However, our paramount concern is to protect the public by maintaining the integrity of the register. That's why, when concerns were raised with us about the Unit Test Centre, we investigated thoroughly, including asking an independent expert to analyse the data. This produced some evidence of widespread fraudulent activity isolated to the Unit site, where we suspect some people obtained their test results fraudulently. In each case, a carefully considered decision will be made about whether to remove those individuals from the register or refuse their applications to join it. Peter Carter, the former chief executive of Royal College of Nursing, told the newspaper it's very, very worrying if there's an organisation that's involving herself in fraudulent activity, enabling nurses to bypass these tests, or if they are using surrogates to do exams for them, because the implication is we end up in the UK with nurses who aren't competent. He said the NMC's actions will protect the quality of care and patient safety and the reputation of the nurses. It comes after data this week revealed that a fifth of the NH staff in England are foreign nationals, which is the highest proportion since records began in 2009. According to the latest available data from NHS Digital, a third of the 335,000 full-time equivalent nurses and health visitors working in England in September, whose nationality was known as foreign nationals. So although 20% of the nurses on the register are foreign, about a third of the work done is by foreign nationals. The most common foreign nationality is Indian, accounting for 10.1% of all the FTE nurses and health visitors, followed by Filipino, then Nigerian, and then Irish. Health chiefs were warned overseas recruitment cannot fill vacancies in the health service forever, arguing that figures reflect how heavily the NHS depends on international staff to stop buckling under pressure. It comes after a Mail on Sunday investigation revealed that NHS staff at every level are working remotely in countries such as Australia and Japan. At least 335 staff from the 33 trusts have been granted to work from a different country in the past 2 years, including consultants who can earn a basic salary of £126,000. This whole thing's worrying, and the last couple of paragraphs are probably a story in itself, that we have staff working in NHS remotely, which might work, but when they're not even in the same country, it seems a bit odd to pay people up to £126,000 for the benefit. However, this is something that I've been talking about regularly. Why don't we encourage the kids that are about 14 just now, that doing these types of jobs, anything that we've got a skill shortage for, is quite a good thing to do, and encourage them and train them to do so that they're less reliant on foreign nationals coming and adding to our housing crisis and potentially adding to the burden in the country and other things that need paid for, and encourage our own children that working isn't a bad thing, as opposed to having the situation where 20 to 25% will never have a job in their life. So it'd be quite good to identify all the places we have skill shortages for and train our own children to do them and encourage them to do them. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. Give me your comments below, please. And most importantly of all, unless you're cheating the NHS by lying in tests and treating people in this country, see everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.